Hello and welcome back to Detox. My name is Deepthi. Today I'm going to review a book from one of my favorite authors, which is None of This Is True by Lisa Jewell. If you're starting off with the thriller genre, or if you have to suggest thriller books to anybody, then you can gladly pick Lisa Jewell's books because they are easy to read, very gripping, and will just make you fall in love with the thriller genre. Alright, I'm going to get into the review right away. I'm going to review the book in 5 aspects, which starts with the blurb, the pacing, the writing and dialogues, characterizations, and finally the plot and the story. I know this book was loved by many people. It had mixed reviews, to be very frank. And let's just deep dive into the details and know if it is worth read or not, shall we? So starting off with the blurb. The blurb had all the key details, the main characters, the setting of the story, the initial plot and everything. I wouldn't say it was brilliantly written, but there's nothing lacking from the blurb. It does what it has to do. So nothing to complain at all. Moving on to the pacing. Lisa Jewell's writing is known for its pacing, and that's what I love about her books. I've read almost 4 to 5 Lisa Jewell books, and I don't remember taking more than 3 days to finish a single book. And I finished this particular book, None of This Is True, within 2 days. Within 2 days. And to mention, I am not a very fast reader. I am relatively a slow reader. I would like to take the details in and just take my time to digest all the emotions and get along. But I couldn't. It just took me 2 days to finish this book, and it was that gripping. So you know how the pacing is. Moving on to writing and dialogues. This is a thriller book, so I'm sure nobody's expecting novelty over here, and I didn't as well. But honestly, this is quite different from the conventional type of scene setting or writings, because this involved podcasts and TV shows which is happening parallelly, and I think Lisa Jewell has done a very great job in setting the feel of podcast on one hand and the TV reporting kind of a setup on the other, and also telling the actual story. So this should be a tricky piece of work to write, but Lisa Jewell did a great job. And in terms of dialogues, I think she has mastered the art of dialogues. Every character's dialogues would be unique, expressing their way of talking or their way of reacting verbally. And I'm sure all the dialogues or conversations mimic a real life conversations, and they sound very natural to you. So in terms of writings and dialogues, she did a really good job. Moving on to characterizations. The background and the weirdness of the characters are set well. I mean, you'll know why a character is reacting in such a way that they're reacting. Or to have such kind of understanding, the backstories has to be set very well. Just that there was a little confusion personally for me when Josie flicks Alex's things and kisses them. So it was a little confusing for me. There wasn't a proper reasoning for it. I mean, sometimes we just do things without any reason, right? I think I convinced myself that that is that kind of an act. I convinced myself that it's just one dimension of Josie adding to the weirdness she already has. And even in a thriller genre, I think there is a character arc wherein at the end of the book, people have some realizations and some things are improved, some things are shattered. There is a character arc for all the characters involved in here. And finally, coming to the story or plot. The entire story is served with plot twists that serves as page turners, and no denying it. And that's how I was able to finish the book in just 2 days. The plots were very well timed to feed the reader's curiosity, but the only thing I felt is the curiosity builds so much throughout the book that by the end of the story, you would be expecting so much to happen. But there is a slight disappointment in the climax, wherein there could be so much of chaos, so much of confusion, so much of complexity in the climax is what any reader would expect, but it ends in a certain way, but that could be an ending even in a real life. I wouldn't say it's bad. I'm just comparing the curiosity or the suspense factors to the entire book and to the end of the book. I have seen comments where people wanted to know more about Josie or her kids, but the book I read had a bonus chapter, I believe. There was a little more conveyed in terms of Josie's kids and what actually happens. If you're going to buy the book here on, then choose to buy the edition which had a bonus chapter in it that would give you a little extra information. But overall, I really liked it. Apart from the subtle climax, I really loved the writing as usual. I like Lisa Jewell's books so much. So I enjoyed reading this book. So it will be a great read. I was totally involved in that world of None of This Is True. So that was my review. I would totally give it a 4.5 to the book. You can gladly pick it. It will be a very good read. And if you have thoroughly enjoyed any of Lisa Jewell's books or any thriller books, please do leave a comment so that I can read it and let others know if it's worth reading or not. If you're still sticking around, thank you so much for watching this video. I will be back with another book review or a travel vlog. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye.